Okay. Welcome to Regrets Are Not Free. Um, let me find the fancy tagline. Regrets are not free, playing a racing build to transition into an endgame build. And what today is all about is thinking about how you can accelerate your um, basically your endgame respecking from a position of strength. And what do I mean by position of strength? I mean playing a racing build, playing a build that is designed to be fast during campaign. Because I'm sure everyone's done it. They go, I'm playing Spark at level 70, therefore I'm playing Spark at level 1. And then you equip Spark at level 1, and it feels like the worst experience of your life. Um, same thing for like SRS, same for a lot of builds, right? Um, And the problem is that in racing context within group play, your build the quality of your build needs to be higher. It needs to be a stronger build. And the difficulty you have there is okay, you can play a lot of different builds. But if your build is actively weak during campaign, you're kind of like a rock weighing the team down. And we want to avoid that as much as possible. So, this is where we come to this presentation. Hopefully, and this is especially for the BPL players, hopefully this will help you in any class that you get, figuring out what your endgame tree looks like, um, and and how you can get there in an efficient way. Righto, so regrets are not free. What are we going to talk about? Core principles. I'm going to give an example, which is EA Ballista Elementalist. Going to take some questions, and then everyone's going to go off and practice. So I've got a few builds, like a few ninja pages, basically, that we can distribute, and we'll figure out exactly how to do that. So give you guys some builds and go, this is what the build looks like at level 85 or whatever. How do you level to this? Um, you're welcome to bring your own builds as well, but the idea is that you just get some practical experience and just start learning the process. Um, Alternatively, and I'm not sure how that's going to work yet. We can get to that. Um, we can get to that when we get there, but we may do it in groups rather than just each person working on it themselves. So, this is a workshop. It's not like the big headliner presentations. So do feel free to dump questions in the chat a lot. Um, if I'm sort of not in the middle of a flow of talking, feel free to unmute to ask a question. But hopefully we're going to talk about core principles plus the example. That'll be around like half an hour or something. And then you'll get straight into a practice example of your own. All right, cool. So what are the core principles? Um, Quite simply, it's about how to maximize the power of your build at each stage. So you want maximum power now so that you can be the strongest that you can be during the leveling process, but you also want maximum power when you respec, and you want maximum power at your full build. So you need to find a point of compromise where your build makes sense at all of these stages. Um, for example, you could be playing. I'll talk about explosive arrow elementalist. Okay, because that's the example we have later on. Um, can you equip explosive arrow at level 28 on elementalist? Does it make sense? Probably not. So, what do you do until 28? At 28, do you play explosive arrow or something else? So we already said probably not, so it's going to have to be something else. At what level does explosive arrow, so we're talking about ballista build, does that become viable on elementalist? And then how do we get from level 1 to that point? And then when do we respec? Sorry, I'll just continue the previous train of thought. And at what point do we accept starting to power trough? Um, so this idea of, and very often with builds with a lot of respecs, you have to click like what we call highways, basically a lot of traveling nodes. Um, and yeah, understanding the build is like really important. Yeah. Um, yeah, so then you have to think about when to respec, right? So do you respec at 52? So that's like traditional BA start timer. Do you look to respec after a certain lab timing? Can you respec at campaign? Uh, can you respec at level 80? That's another option, right? Like, let's say you just like get your full white map completion and you're in like T6s, Tier 7s, and you go, okay, now is when I'm ready to respec. All of these are viable points. I would say, generally speaking, most builds want to respec entering maps or a little bit after maps. Yeah, some excellent key points coming in from chat, like uh, having good weapons or like a good gear threshold is a point of when to consider when to swap. And then other is like how many gem levels do you need, or is it like for Val DD or for DD in general, like do you need Val DD before you'd consider playing the build? So these are a bunch of considerations of when to respec, and you have to sort of theory craft this idea for yourself of when to do that. In terms of the practical numbers, in terms of respec orbs or tree respecs, you get 20 total for doing the campaign. There are 2 per act in quests. By BA, you get 12 for free. There are 8 more. So it's the quests in Act 1, 2, 9, and 10. Act 1 quest, generally do after campaign. You can organize to do it with your group to be faster. That's clearing the fetid pool. Act 2 quest, same thing. You should organize to do it. Yes, those quests are absolutely worth doing. Just to jump off a question from the chat. Especially if your build requires at least 20 respecs, you should be doing them every time. You spend like 3 minutes total completing the Act 1 and 2 respec quests. It's more relevant in, I would say, in GSF environments, but even like in Trade League, like you just don't have access to the regret orbs straight away. And you want to get your builds to the higher power faster. That's what I would say. Then the Act 9 quest is Foothills. You can organize to do that during an Act 9 chain while you're waiting for something to be set up if you need the respec straight away. And the Act 10 respecs are in Ossuary, I think it's called. Yeah, Ossuary. Same instance as a lab trial. And you should have that set up during Act 10 in a 4-player run. So really you're only going back for 2 quests in Act 1 and 2. So yeah, absolutely worth it. And then the 2 benchmarks you need to think about is, if I'm respecing at BA, I have access to 12 respecs. You could stretch your BA respec to 14 if you consider having 2 of the points be boulder back, but then you need to actively think of respecing after boulder back. And then finally, by end of campaign, you can budget about 20. Now, the other thing which I haven't actually written down on this slide is it is okay to have points on your tree after a respec that aren't in your final builds. And I'll go over some examples like that afterwards. Just another question coming up here. Are the respec quests worth practicing in group runs? And I would say it's not worth. They're just very quick. Basically, you just send literally anyone to fetid pools, and you send the person who ran the Crypt 1 lab trial in Act 2 to Crypt 1. They run to the hand. You don't need to be inside the act. You just need to be out of lab for that hand to be accessible for all players. So what you do is you set up those two portals. You can also set up a boulderback portal, and then you just chain those 3 quests. So whoever is the last person to be ready, you get, okay, swell SPL for boulderback, kill boulderback, pick up the thing, pick up the respecs. Then whoever's setting up fetid pools, okay, swell fetid pools. And then whoever's set up the hand, okay, just go take my portal from Act 2. Very easy, very quick. You know, maximum 3-ish, maybe 5 minutes if you're slow. And as someone, I think it was Kawa, pointed out, if you're in a 6-player run, that's what, 6 times 3 times 2 points. So yeah, sounds what, like, can I maths? Yeah, 36 regrets. And then yeah, that's absolutely worth your time if you need the regret orbs early on. Cool. So let's not go to the question slide. I mean, we can go to the question slide, but I'll just pop up this elementalist tree for everyone to have a look at. You do need to be in the zone for boulderback kill. Yeah. Alright, so this is like a level 90-ish explosive arrow elementalist ballista build. And as you can see, it's kind of a nightmare. It doesn't really make a lot of sense. How do you get to this point in a way that actually feels good? Like, all known elementalist leveling trees don't look anything like this. I think probably like half of the points are taken from Scion Life and below, maybe even more than half. So how are we going to get to this point, have your build feel good before, where you can actually participate in the campaign, and then get to this point and have your build feel good later? And as someone in the chat mentioned, nothing like some armor brand can't fix. Exactly. So what we're going to try and do is, I'll just take you through the process of how I would respec to this build, and then we'll see if anyone has questions based off that. So this is the initial build. Then we think about, well, what trees can make sense, or what leveling or racing build ideas can make sense to help us get to this point. Well, we know Armageddon Brand is like the best build of all time. You know, don't quote me on that. It's a strong build. And this is what a racing Armageddon Brand build looks like, yeah? So you can have a look at this POV alongside all of the other POVs that we'd recommend as racing options in the resources channel. I don't remember what it's called, but it's like racing builds list or something. So how do we get from this to the other tree? The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a copy of this export tree. Yeah, so I'm going to export this and I'm going to copy it. I hope that works. Alright, cool. I'm going to go over here and I am going to import it. So this is Armor Brand Import. Import. That did not work.
You did in the wrong order. Just delete that one.
Delete this, sure.
And then import, and then do the name.
Well, no, it's not the name that didn't work. It is.
No, you need to enter a name for that tree. So in that
Really?
name, you write the Arma Prima.
I see. Armor leveling. Cool. I've definitely done this before. All right. And what we can do here is compare the trees. Yeah. Looks very, very different. Okay. To go from armor to this, it requires 62 respecs. But SPL, you said I only have 20 regret orbs. Like, why are you recommending me a 62 refund respec? Well, very good question. Basically what we need to do is we need to change this tree to a build that works within reasonable respec budgets. And what that tree is going to look like is a tree that is playable, not necessarily best tree, but a playable tree for around level 58 to level 60, because that's when we want to swap to EA. Okay, so first of all, let's just look at the general shapes of the trees, right? So in green is where we want to end up, and in red is where we're starting. So if we look up here, like none of these nodes up here really make sense, but we want to be making these green line. So we could think about maybe routing the tree around here during leveling, maybe even up. Maybe that makes sense. These are spell damage nodes, but they're really good early, so we probably want to route out of here. Normally we'd go sort of up through this red line, but if we go around here to EO, that's not really adding too many extra points, right? So maybe we go around here. I think stuff along this red line is absolutely mandatory for Armor Brand to feel good, but we can pick up life and mana nodes elsewhere. Maybe the mana nodes are not even mandatory or necessary for our builds. If we're looking at the nodes around Templar start, like these are all good nodes for Elementalist Explosive Arrows, so like okay, they're not the best nodes that we could have, but they're good. Then okay, if we have Spiritual Command, probably Spiritual Aid is really strong too. Maybe we're not clicking Righteous Army. Divine Judgment's probably a little bit too far off. And then, okay, like Holy Fire. Now we're thinking about the green nodes, right? So like, this is totem nodes. Dot nodes doesn't really fit. Yeah, maybe Ash Frost and Storm is fine. Holy Fire is like kinda mid, especially if we have the Fire Mastery here. Okay, so we've just done like a quick analysis of what the nodes do on each part of the tree and what makes sense. So then we can start putting together another tree. And what I'm going to do for this is just make a copy of armor leveling and call this something like armor leveling respec ideas. And now for this tree, I'm going to go, okay, so we said we were thinking about pathing around here instead of up the top. Because this is more realistic for what our endgame tree looks like. We're also not taking Heart and Soul on the endgame tree, so maybe we don't take that here. We lost a lot of life and some mana regen. Okay, so maybe we can click Quick Recovery. We could put the Life Mastery here, maybe. Oh, we had the Life Mastery over here. This is fine. Like, Divine Judgment's probably too much. Righteous Army is too much. But Spiritual Aid's really good when you have these nodes. These are all good. Okay, so everything here is probably a little bit more reasonable. Okay, so let's check this. So we dropped from 62 to 46 respecs. Okay, let's just have another look here. I don't think you can drop really anything that's in red. You could maybe consider not going into Templar start, but the value of these nodes is just really high. You could consider not going into Quick Recovery, but these nodes are still fine when you're playing Explosive Arrow, right?
SP, I'll check the ascendancy real quick. There might be
Okay,
regrets in there.
Ascendancy. Okay, yeah, good call. No, it looks like Ascendancy's fine. Like it's just adding Bastion, yeah. All right, yeah. So I think this is sort of where I want to land with my Armageddon Band leveling tree. Let's just check the masteries. We can keep this 50 life mastery once we're EA as well. Okay, this all looks kind of good. Yeah. All right, so then let's look at the default EA tree again. Just Does quick recovery make sense on this tree? Yeah, it kind of does. I wouldn't hate having quick recovery here. Okay, so then let's make a copy of this EA tree. And let's shave it down to what we might look like our EA tree would be. Sorry, I'm just going to move my microphone real quick. Okay, so let's have a think about what this might look like around end of campaign. So let's call this like a level 60 tree, yeah? So it's probably okay to have quick recovery on this tree. Fire mastery, fire dot multi. So it looks like we don't need any ignite chance from this. That's good. Oh, of course not, because we're elementalist. It's probably very unreasonable to get down to these nodes, but getting to LE equilibrium is good. So maybe let's just say here. Yeah, let's say we're aiming to get to something like this. As just like the minimum good nodes that we want to be clicking. Okay. Maybe not this dual socket because we're not guaranteed to have a dual socket early. Let's move this life mastery over here because that's where we want to be clicking it later on. Yeah, getting rid of this stuff's fine. Acrimony. Okay, maybe we don't need this duration mastery first. Don't need this for sure. Alright, so this is like our absolute minimum sort of viable skeleton that we're looking for around level 60, but we can add to this, right? So now let's have a look and compare these trees. So firstly, it's still 42 respecs. That's a lot of respecs. Am I doing this correctly? Yeah, still 42 respecs. I think no matter what with this build, like to play a strong racing build, it looks like we're going to have to spend some regret orbs. It's just about figuring out how to do that in such a way where we can have a strong build when we want to be swapping. So, okay, let's think. What are the nodes that are really useless for EA? Runebinder must go. So this is one regret. Light of Divinity must go. That's 2. These spell damage nodes really suck. So that's 4. Firewalker, fire damage, and fire res. I mean, this is kind of fine. We don't want dark art. Dark arts is horrible. Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This looks like an 11-point respec of the nodes that are like actually unusable for our builds. Okay, cool. So what I'm gonna do, make a copy of this, and call this like armor leveling, post respec. Yeah. Let's go into here and let's chop off those nodes that are just like absolutely not usable once we're explosive arrow. So it's these. The minion nodes are good. The minion nodes are good. Like explosive impact is good nodes as well. Not taking any cast speed and light of divinity spell damage. Okay, so if I look at this tree, every node that we've taken on the tree is a viable node that contributes something for our character, right? And now where do we go from here? Okay, so let's have a look at the level 60 build again. So compare this to the level 60 builds. Now I think basically we just need to be adding on these parts to our level 60 character. So if I go to the level 60 builds, and now I'm going to compare this to the post-respec build. Actually, On the level 60 build, do we really need Holy Fire plus these travel points? Not really, right? Yeah, so let's click these off. To do that, we need to path through here, but we said we were going to keep all of these nodes anyway, yeah? So let's click all of this off. We want the totem nodes. Those are okay. We definitely want spiritual aid and spiritual command because the attack speed's good early. Let's keep our fire mastery. Let's keep discipline and trainings like best life nodes on the tree. Holy Dominion, I mean, this is just elemental damage and res. Practical application, again, really strong early still. Firewalker, strong early. Okay, so now we've got a... What if we strip this back a little bit? What? Quest points 19, skill points 2, so that's 21 out of 25. So this is like a level 64 build, right? So I think this is fine. Like, we can call this our roughly level 60 build. And we have our post-respec build in terms of points that we know that we're taking off. And then we have our respec ideas, which is this is what our power budget is that we want to put into the character to be really strong. Yeah? Now there are some further choices here, right? So we've got our respec tree and we've got our level 60 tree. And as discussed, there's a lot of regrets still to get from this respec ideas tree to the default tree, like our endgame tree that we want to be playing. This is 46 respecs. But what we've done is we've come to a point where we have our strong leveling tree with minimum character power. And actually, this is a lot of character power. Most respec trees, you'll only get probably around 50-ish points. So around 40-ish levels. Like part 1, I would say you want to spec most of your points into power. And if you get to spec a little bit more at power after that, then you're really happy. So with this tree, we're really happy. And to respec to our level 60 tree, or our target tree for when we want to do the respec, we've only spent 11 refunds. So this is actually possible for a BA respec as well, yeah? Like, we'd just strip back, like, I don't know, this many points. And, hey, look, we're, like, roughly in BA. So you could potentially play the build here. I don't think I would, but it's a valid choice, right? Because we're within the 12-point respec budget that VA respecing allows. So yeah, this is sort of like the rough process that I would go through in terms of figuring out how to respec a character. And the thing is, like, if you're an EA elementalist playing this build on Map Enter, like, if we look at all of the nodes that we've kept from the Armor Brand racing tree, like, they are all useful, right? Like, practical application, like, you might need strength for something. I don't exactly know the strength requirements of the build, but this is 13 all res for 2 points. It's good. Firewalker gives you % fire damage. Okay, obviously good for the build. You've got your fire res. So, like, maybe Arcanist Dominion and all of these nodes are the next nodes that you're chopping off within your free respec points. But yeah, like, let's look at precision. I think it's actually a reasonably high dex requirement to be playing the build, especially if you don't have access to all of these points already. So getting a bit of extra dex is really valuable. The attack speed is helping you hit the fuse cap, yeah? Some best life nodes on the tree. 2, like, generic elemental damage nodes, 12 all res. Good on Map Enter, right? Like, it gives you less requirement to have stronger gear. You've got the minion attack speed nodes, so Spiritual Command. Also, this side of Spiritual Aid gives you more attack speed. So again, we've got more attack speed feeding into the cap. We've got our minion damage here. Spiritual Aid's obviously feeding that into generic damage. So that's like another 2 clusters that eventually you could spec off. but is unnecessary right now. Explosive impact. Like, how much worse than Holy Fire is explosive impact? Like, probably not that much, right? Um, so yeah, I would say like this is a tree, or this respec idea we've run multiple times within the team. We've got a few EA enjoyers, and this is how they play. Like they go, okay, this is where I want to end up, but you know what? I'm an armor brand enjoyer, so I want to have strong leveling. So you have strong leveling, then you respec 11 points. You just remove the points that don't make any sense for your respec build, and then you're here and you're like, I can play the game. And that's really what I want to get to in this workshop, is for everyone to be able to go through a similar process to the one that I just described. This EA problem, it looks obvious on the surface, but there's like a decent amount of nuance, and I hopefully spoke through my thoughts in a way that makes sense. And yeah, I guess from this point we can go back to the any questions slide. Any questions? Any questions? Feel free to speak up or type in chat or whatever. All right, yeah, so good question. So we've spoken a lot about regrets, but not about gear. Yeah, that's a tricky one. I would say it's build by build basis. You need to understand basically this concept of minimum viable product. And for explosive arrow, what we figured out was you can do an elemental flask recipe, which is kind of similar to the granite recipe you might see people doing for axes. So you take a thicket bow, you alt roll it for any like tier 5 flat lightning or cold, then or like basically whatever you've found the most of in terms of sapphire or topaz flasks. And some people might have been wondering why sapphire and topaz flasks are like moderately highlighted on the filter. This is why. And the idea here is you do the elemental flask recipe to increase the tier of those. So it's what is it? An augment and an ele flask up until tier 3. The ele flask flat ele recipe caps out at tier 3. So you go until tier 3, then you aug regal, hoping for attack speed, obviously. Otherwise, it's just craft attack speed. You can also just not even aug regal. Like you just have the single mod prefix and craft attack speed, and then that's a really good starter bow for EA Elementalist. In trade league scenarios, you might be able to find like unique pieces. For example, Stormcloud is really good and accessible by map enter. But like for other builds, you just need to understand like what minimum power budget looks like in terms of gear. If your gear is stronger, then your tree can be weaker. If your skill is stronger, then your tree can be weaker. For example, Armor Brand, you can get away with less tree power than other builds. But yeah, there's like a lot of levers to pull, and it's kind of tricky for me to give you like a generalization on the topic, because obviously every build's very different, and at that point we wouldn't be speaking about like acts racing builds. We'd be talking about endgame racing builds. or whatever else you're trying to do there. And yeah, it's just a little bit too broad to answer in any meaningful way. Yeah, okay, so next question. How many respecs is too much? Can you go over a bit over the free ones? Yeah, so again, I would try to say make your first respec within the or your first respec plan within the 20 respec budget. The reason for this is you want consistency, yeah? If it's like 21, 22, whatever. But okay, let's say like you want to be within 20 respecs. You definitely don't want to be in a position where we were at the start of that process of going, shit, I need 65 regrets to change from very funny you to change from my leveling build to my endgame build, right? You definitely don't want to be in that position. But as you can see, what we've essentially done is created a respec progression where we have 11 respecs from strong leveling build until perfectly viable map enter build. And at that point, the additional respecs is not really that important. Even if it's up to like 40 or something, as I described there, because you can get those regrets over time. Assuming, that is, that you have the points that are like actively viable for the build. In terms of how much over would I be willing to go? Yeah, I mean, this example is probably over my personal tolerance of how many regrets I want to have planned by like level 85. But yeah, I mean, going up to like say 30-ish by level 85, especially if you're in a team where everyone else is within the 20 and you can share the regret orbs, I would say would be acceptable. Where is the power trough on the armor EA respec? That's a really good question. I will pull up the pub and show you. If I can find the pub. Cool, yeah, so where is the power trough in this? So you want to start by looking at your here. This is like your power tree, right? So I would say you're clicking power in every point in this tree. Then you basically want to start pathing down, and if we look at this, yeah, all of these, basically everything in green is power trough. Well, okay, not Ash, Frost, and Storm, right? But you can path to Ash, Frost, and Storm. 1, 2, 3. This is 4 points. And then after this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like basically everything after Ash, Frost, and Storm is power trough. Yeah, I mean that's the answer to the question. This is a fairly comfortable respec. You get a lot of power while leveling, and you get a lot of power once you respect as well. There are other examples that I can show you, but in fact, I'd rather just get you to try and work it out yourself. So I think what we might do is split into groups for the for the next portion, basically, instead of having everyone try one thing each. And for anyone who's up to a challenge, I have a support POB. So I'm going to give you like a level 80 SSF group support pub for champion, and you need to figure out how to level that. Cool. Next question. Where do you check the amount of regrets needed? Yeah, so if you just start off with the tree that you're looking at. So let's say we want to... Where's our... Okay, we're on armor leveling post respec. So this is the points that we've taken off, yeah? And then we can hover over armor leveling respec ideas. Other way around. Yes, other way around. And you can see here, I can't point with my mouse. But yeah, if you just look just above game version, it says switching to this tree requires 11 refund points. and then we can look up the top. Switching to this tree requires 46 refund points. Okay. So I'm going to assume there are no more questions right now. What I would like is we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 9 voice channels, including this workshops channel. Yeah, all POBs is like gear you pick up off the ground. Okay. If everyone wants to, let me just see how many POBs I have prepared. Boop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 6 POBs prepared. So if everyone wants to split out into this channel, and then each of the focused practice channels, stay here if you want to work on the support POB. That's the really hard one. Go, be free, move.
You'll never be free of me.
Imagine.
Do we want like a focus member or trial member for each group if they have questions?
Sure. Bye.
Hey.
So, which are each pods?
Say again?
What are each pods taking care of?
I'm just gonna pick one.
Okay, so just
I've
like small
got,
exercise, basically. Okay.
yeah, so I've got like a couple of caster POBs, a totem POB, and a bow POB.
Alright.
Yeah. Alright. So this is the last chance to move from the complicated support POB group to one of the other easy groups. Alright, cool. So what I'm gonna do
Masochist left there.
What's up?
Masochist left there.
Yeah, exactly.
People that wanna kill themselves.
So I just need to edit this to delete the leveling POB that I have here.
As PR, do we assume that we have access to every game only from champion, or like we can
have
share
access to
from other
everything.
classes?
Alright,
Okay.
so I'm going to post this in here. You guys have this. I'll be back in a bit.
Yep. He was. I was just about to ask you, SPL.
Hello, Team 1. You have been assigned this POB. This POB. Good luck.
Ah oui.
Mhm.
Yo.
Oh no. Easier.
Ah, il parle français, c'est bon, il peut comprendre ce qu'on dit.
Oui. Bonne chance.
Build, and then
Yo.
hi. Hello.
What are we gonna do with this?
So what do we get?
You got this. Good luck.
Go through what we came up with.
Yeah, pretty much.
Good
Nice.
luck.
Hey, Mac.
Okay.
Okay, so basically we're spread out, and you're free to go any other channel. This and like everyone try to do some sort of POB and test, like try to make some builds. This channel is for our bot, and this is the hardest one to solve. And if you want something easier, you can move to any like the channel that is below us.
This is the easiest one. Just play Bone Shatter to level 100 they respec. Easy clap.
This is my thoughts for a split second, but
Does anyone want to stream? It's not gonna be
but
me.
this is like good question if we do like stream together or.
So
Okay.
I suggest that either you each go away and think about it for 5 minutes and come back with some ideas, or one person just like does the work in pod and everyone else shouts ideas at them. Up to you.
This is the newest scam from SPL, making him builds now.
Okay. You think I don't already have like prepared answers to all of these
You already
questions?
have. Okay, so what level is this one? It's level 80. What if I remove this part? Oh yeah, sorry, I shouldn't be talking. How about?
Oh, the additional caveat for this problem is you have a mandatory respec at level 52.
Oh fuck!
You respec at BA. Yep.
You respec in lab.
Yeah, you respec in lab as well.
You respec in lab while running. Have fun, everybody.
Everyone knows to answer to this question. Holy. Am I the only one thinking about this right now, or there are people actually thinking?
Oh, I'm thinking about it as well.
I'm thinking and despairing.
Okay.
It would be really good if someone could share their screen, so I could put that up on the screen that I'm recording, so people who are
I don't
watching it
want
back
time taking too much stuff.
can have a think about it too.
What does Icicle Mines do right now? Oh, the
Can you
crit
see?
chance. Yep, we can see. So, okay, I like to people are streaming.
So, my thoughts so far, we can ignore the upper half for the lower levels, because there is mostly mana reservation, and it spreads out a lot to get a lot of mana reservation, and early game we won't be using any of that. So we
That is
definitely
correct.
need some form of damage that we have to respec.
Yeah, so
Now,
basically
in
you
my
can.
opinion, a candidate would be something with precise technique, because it's really powerful. So an attack-based version of some kind.
So my thoughts are we can basically split the tree up to the Revenge of the Hunted. The suppressed because it's level 60, and we start with this base instead of like fully tree because it looks awful. We probably do not take any of the like top part besides the Constitution for life, but I would personally move to the right side and do those respects there, and like connect tree in the middle. Would also I'm thinking how to go into precise technique, something like splitting skills into maybe forgot the skill. Wait, where is that? It's nerfed a lot, but still probably one of the best. Spectral Helix.
Spectral Throw has gotten more popular.
I think we
Okay.
have a Spectral Throw.
If you say so, then I cannot doubt it. Maybe, yeah. And if you go for this world, world like recipes with precise technique and balance, let's see the points.
Yeah, I would feel comfortable to respec after this.
Not this. Which one?
What's it like? 23 points to respec.
Ah, that's too much. You don't have it.
Okay, 3 extra points. I don't think that matters.
If you respect with 52, you don't have 20 respect points.
That's the
Yeah,
hard
you
part.
have
We only have
40.
12 respects for this build.
Yes.
And
Then
this
just
is 2,
don't go bone shatter. GG.
4, 5,
You can
6,
You're playing Spectre
7,
Throw
8,
until
9,
second
10,
lap.
11, 12, 13, 11, 12. So I guess, yeah, like this is the answer probably. Going through the middle with something like watch damage or like attack speed, or maybe dual wielding, go for precise technique, which is because that is broken. Move to the bottom, connect from the bottom maybe. No, because that leaves too much respects there.
we can also
No, there is no other way to do this.
make
So basically I'm thinking of something like this at the start of the tree. I will just post the screenshot, because if we go like there, we can go precise technique, and this is exactly like 12 respects that you can use later, and beside that we cannot move the left side completely.
No shot, you take the
Do you really
12%
think precise
projectile
technique is
damage.
so much worth?
Yeah, I wouldn't go. So the right side does or has precise technique, which is super strong. But we don't go to the right side for anything else anyway. So any node on the right side has to be removed. But there are a
Yeah,
bunch
like
of nodes on the left side that we already take travel nodes for in the main tree. That so we wouldn't have to respec nearly as many travel nodes.
All the two-hander nodes, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you take Destroyer, you might go
Yeah.
down to Hatchet Master, but this is 6 points. But you take Martial Experience, Kinetic Impacts.
Something
Yeah,
like
Hatchet
this.
Master is required.
Oh, actually, we
if you
don't
want
need to kill
play.
bosses. We only need to farm. We should look at this way also.
Hatchet
Because I
Master is
believe
for sure the way.
then do something else. I need to go back to the proper tree. And this is the proper tree. So this is 2 points. This would be 3.
Okay, so for the people here, okay, I'm playing this next run. GG.
I'm leaving you behind. Goodbye. This is strong. So this is 3, 4, 4, 5, 6 points. I have 6 per. The problem is if we go swords or axes. What's the best skill we can use on champion is my
You use
question.
Spectral Throw either way.
Yes.
But axes are better every
Yes.
time because you have access to Hatchet Master, get Onslaught, and Rage.
Okay. Yep.
also
The
more
Axe
efficient.
Masters are always better.
I probably would copy the Spectral 4 champion leveling build and add some points there.
And 7. I have to copy some sort of. So you guys say spectral throw. What supports do you use on that?
Vicious Proj Cruelty. Or early, it's like added fire chance to bleed, then Vicious Proj.
You'd never use added fire. It's a bad skill gem.
Okay, so spectral throw, vicious projectile. What's the next one, please? I'm never level up with spectral throw, so I have no
For
clue.
clear, I think as well LMP was there.
And the fourth one? Vicious, LMP, spectral throw. What's the last one?
Give me a sec. I have to
Usually
look the PUB.
Brutality in Act 4 and Cruelty up until then.
Let's say we're level like 40. What will be the recommended gem there? Added
Okay,
chaos,
why
of
are we doing the
course.
gems now?
I want the gems to be able to look for the correct nodes that gives the best amount of damage. If
You
that
only
works for
click
you.
the... I think you only click the two-hander nodes and the axe nodes. That's it. You don't have to click anything
I'm
else.
thinking about that, but like if you go there, there is 2, there is 5, you're at 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then you go to hand mastery for something. And like this is probably something I will go with.
Two-hand mastery is for 40% increase damage with hits against rare and unique enemies.
That's what I expected, but at the same time, if you're not fighting and you're just farming, this is like dead mastery.
No, it's actually pretty good. Most of the gear that you get inside the run is from rare monsters.
But you're not going to farm them, you're just keeping with XP as a robot. You have to...
You're not a robot until you get to the second lab, so...
I mean, this build is like made for our robots, so everyone expects them to not have power. You just basically have ability to farm.
Why not?
Not really kill.
You can get power while
I mean,
not
there's...
sacrificing.
No, you definitely won't have enough, so I'm thinking
Yeah, I
about
don't
that
think
right
so
now.
too.
Like, it's up to you what you guys think, but for me, if I'm playing a robot, I would never push for something. I will just try to keep up with XP and so swap at the end.
Yeah, but if you kill monsters faster, you keep up with XP better than if you use random points.
Yeah, but you don't have to fight unique monsters. Just do
I
packs
You
and
don't.
rep.
You don't have to fight rares.
Yeah.
You could fight
yeah.
rares, and fighting rares is good if your build is strong enough. But if your build isn't strong enough,
yeah, this
even
is
if
like
you invest
that
in it, then
point.
there's no point in trying to invest in it.
So I believe is taking Destroyer is correct way, then go for Hatchet Mastery at the bottom, because since we are there, and grab Rage, because faster Lip Slam means just simple leveling. And at the end we have like some of option. I would personally go for Wrecking Ball at the bottom, but
So
this is
if
only
you
a
go
bad
for
pick.
Hatchet Master immediately after Destroyer, you're gonna have to respec more because you're changing the travel nodes. You're taking two-handed mastery. So if you
That is
instead you go
correct.
over to Martial Experience, and then you could either go for Kinetic Impacts or Hatchet Master.
Sorry, what did you say? Which one do we go?
Martial Experience.
On top
Because
of the...
that's the same on the same path as the original Orbot travel nodes.
Yeah, I forgot about those so that we can go move into further into left side. That is correct. How do we capture those nodes? Left or right side?
I'm streaming if you want to take a look at the tree that
yeah,
I've got. It's
sure,
still not
sure.
perfect, but this is 18 refund points.
This is too much respect already, I believe. It's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 already, 15, 14, 15. Yeah, we only have 12 of them. That's the problem. We don't have 20.
Yeah, but we don't have to respec everything at the start. We can respec enough.
Oh,
So
if you look at
already
it
we
this way,
can.
yeah.
We don't have to
Yeah.
take call to arms. So this can be as is. It doesn't have to be as it is on the tree.
Okay, so kinetic impacts has 0 impact if I look at the damage. It gives like 7%, which is 1.5 per point, which compared martial experience going topside give us 96%. That's why I wanted to set up the gems.
Yeah, this could be removed.
So I believe the left side is wrong. I think like we are still missing something on the bottom because those nodes...
To take Bastion Breaker.
Wait, I need to set up any good axe. How... Wait. Something like two-handed axe. Let's go. Let's go this one. Sorry, what did you want it to take?
Bastion Breaker at the bottom, 30% increased attack fizz and 20% overall.
Yeah. This note is pretty strong. And I believe this would be something that I would go for. Early attack speed, we move to Destroyer, which gives us a lot of... Maybe not that much, but then we just move straight to Martial Experience, which gives actually a lot. Then we move fully bottom, go to Bastion Breaker and Hatches Master, maybe grab the Golem's Blood, Cloth and Chain then. Go left side full core to arms, Life Mastery. Then end up with going top for some LHP. This is like level 51 tree, which even I remove that. This is okay because of the armor 49 with this. Yeah, I believe in that. It depends how many points we wanna left over that we have to respect later. This is like the only.
If you stay like this, you have already 12 respect points, so this should be the way to go, I guess.
This is what like exactly what I thought about. This is like 12 respect points. Is it 12? 3,
Yes, if
4,
you
5,
doesn't take the
6, 7.
mastery, the two-hander, or what is it, the bottom?
It sucks. You need the mastery, really, really, really. I mean, what I would choose personally is we don't have any.
Nah, you can't.
No, we can actually, because it said that we are allowed to do at the lab, but at the lab you won't have level 80. So what I would do is remove the point from reservation mastery.
Oh, true, you can do that. Yeah, for
It's
sure.
completely pointless, and then you get like 8 mod respec, so we can still live free, remove something. And you will be able to be aura bot without it, but it will be better with it. So that's like the point. If we look at this like that, I believe this is the way that we go to, and I cannot see anything else. I removed the mage bane, I kept at the sentinel. I didn't go past it because I don't see the reason to.
Yeah, there's nothing much after it.
Yeah, like if we want to take something, wait, let me check it this way. Is it? It's hit DPS, and also, do we work on gems or only a 3? Any of the focus member can answer.
What did you say? Excuse me.
You need to give me
Do
a
we
full
work
build.
full build? Even
Or
like
at least the idea of a build, you know what I mean?
Okay. Are we at a
So
good track?
Just
what I
bring
would say
Spectre Throw and 10
is you
second
also
lab.
need to consider, especially for this problem, the auras that you require at level 52 and how much reservation efficiency you need to fit in all of those auras.
Don't tell me you are going to fit all of those auras level 52.
I mean, we're very nearly there on my tree.
Yeah.
You
I have all
you
the
take
aura nodes.
this node and you get level 53, so you can respec one other thing and you can fit all of the auras on the tree.
You're missing one dex point of the left side, so it's like.
Yeah, but this is a point that we're going to take later, so we could respec it, but then we've got
You don't need
33 refund points, which is too much.
You don't need it even to take that earlier. There is no point in kinetic impacts. There's no sucks. Like I'm looking at the maybe if I had aura or something, but right now it actually after like adding some gems it's better, but it's still like 5% per node, which Marshall is like 100. Destroyer is 11, but it's a single point basically. The Hatches Mastery actually are not that good, but we get Rage. If we click the Rage, then it's better. And the Bastion Breaker, yeah, it's better. I don't know, I might be wrong about the left side and the kinetic. It might be correct, but I feel like it's wrong.
No, I think you're right. That's 6 points for a marginal improvement.
No, there is definitely wrong way. If we want to spend 4 points, the Wrecking Ball at the bottom gives like 2% more. Right side of the big circle. At the bottom,
we're already running up on respecs though.
I mean, we could.
This is 33 respecs to a tree that will fit all of the auras.
Or you don't go for Bastion Breaker.
Where is Bastion Breaker?
On top
that
of
tree
that.
at the bottom. So we could take out this, go up for Constitution and Sentinel.
Yeah, something like this. And how much respects do we have right now?
It is 11.
Why is that 11? Where I'm missing? It's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3,
2,
4,
3,
5,
4, 5, 7,
6.
8, 9, 10.
It's 10. So we have two leftovers.
Oh, it's life mastery that I'm not taking. Hang on.
It's in the different way, but this is the same mastery, so that I would say
Yeah.
doesn't matter. So we are like have 2 leftover points which could be spent somewhere. So I guess we did something wrong. I mean, no, it's giving.
We don't have to spend 100% of the respect points, but if we can get
That is
something easy for 2
correct.
points.
Yeah, like martial experience gives them. I mean, taking the mana mastery isn't wrong. How good would be the rage mastery? Not really. I mean, if we count
It
reses,
take
we
too
can-
long to ramp up, I would assume.
You will never have that much.
Yeah, I think you will get up 10 rage or 20 at least, but not more.
Okay, let's work maybe something on gems. So, Moeta, sorry, I don't know how to spell your names.
That's fine. Moeta.
Okay, can you open the skill tab? Let's work something there maybe.
I'll give you a hint. You don't have to have
Yeah.
all of the auras at level 52.
Okay, GG, dropping determination then.
The expectation at level 52 is Wrath Smite Generosity, Haste Precision.
Wait, can you run haste?
Is it enable haste
On
or Val
divine
haste only?
placing?
No, enabled haste, like just normal haste.
Okay, so we've got a ton of.
Okay, you can just drop.
Yeah, that's an
determination on all
insane
four.
amount of master reservation. We can take out all of this.
But we cannot do this anyway because we don't have respects anyway.
Yes, you have to go that way.
Yeah, did you take Blessing off the haste?
Oh, I don't think I did. That's 13%.
Did we find something better than SPL did? I don't believe it, but yeah. I mean,
I doubt it.
We've hit that in.
But then you want to try
Yes.
and fit Anger as soon as possible.
Okay, so we just go right side, I believe.
Or we just take.
Yeah, Charisma's way to go, yeah.
And I believe the going for mana mastery would be faster.
It would be interesting if you could compensate some early powers with aggressive auras, offensive auras. So you
Yeah,
could skip some
this
turns
is
in the
like
bottom.
you don't need topside, by the way. You don't need leadership, I believe there is.
For this?
Yeah.
Oh
You
yeah,
can
you're right.
still-
That's 1%.
You can still that fit in. SPL.
I don't think 1% mana, 7 mana with no clarity. Like, I'm not even sure you can attack with Leap Slime with that amount of mana.
You can't
I mean,
even
if you
cast
keep-
your
You
mind
cannot.
though.
There is no mana mastery anymore.
So I think you have to take leadership to get that, because you
Yeah, I mean-
definitely can't go up to influence.
If you
That's
take
just-
leadership, then yeah, this is fine. And what level is it right now?
This is 52,
SPL?
which is when we're respecking.
So this is 12 respecs?
Yes.
This is 11 or 10.
It's
What? No, hang on.
10. Yeah, it's 10.
I did something wrong. Saying. Yeah, okay. Switching to this tree requires 10 refund points.
I don't think you can kill white mobs in BA with this.
Okay.
Depends how good are your gems. I don't know how good is spectral troll actually, but remember that if you are going to play solo, then you have all the mana that you can reserve for your auras instead of like running support auras.
Oops.
If you go pride there, I don't know, determination, maybe some heralds, you can definitely field some good games to help you
you
in.
just play the same auras, just don't use generosity on them.
That's also correct, but they're definitely better than them.
Oops.
Okay, so what time is it?
These are like
I was signed
16
for
EA,
some time
right?
of leveling, and I'm not sure when is it.
It's in 25 minutes.
Okay,
so I'll
thank
Question
give
is,
you
you.
can we
another hint.
use arrogance?
We
Why do you
already
want
used
to
arrogance on
use?
precision.
You don't want to, I believe. This will be fucked. I don't believe in fire damage. Can you do something else, please?
Added fire is what's on SPL's leveling.
Okay.
But I'm happy to change.
No, added
That's the only
Please-
reason I added it.
Please remove all of those gems right now. For a quick example, make new the socket group. Set your level to your level 3 on top. What's the no on top, middle, top when you set the class, and set the level.
Sorry. Oh, here.
Yes, exactly, and like on the
I
left
feel
side,
like 50
hover
or
over.
something. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Now, on the left side, instead of normal maximum, the default game level set up to match your character level. And now you're putting in gems that you want to use. Put the spectral throw. Right now, set up on the left side main skill as spectral throw. Because right now it will help of what are the best gems to use. Okay, so DK is always to troll, just to poison it. Like some of the gems are really.
The weapon is like omega bad. It's all gonna overrate added.
Yeah,
Fire
let's
so
look at the
much.
weapon.
It just attacks
nice.
on a whalebone rapier.
Okay,
But why
can
why
we?
do you need damage on a support character?
This is so they can level on their own.
Yeah, but
SPO,
okay.
are we
So
free to change those items, or we have to keep to that?
it's what I'm trying to get at. This pop you was given with these items is for a support character. It's not for leveling. We guys are making it a leveling character. So yeah, the items you need to change, you can change the items to suit your leveling, whatever you want to level with.
Yeah, you should just make a new leveling group, basically.
Okay, anyone has level 52 at character maybe in PoE right now?
Just put up a
No,
huge
not me.
tax there.
I have 61. Wait, I can
Call it a
actually
day.
do the.
No, I think just make a new item set and delete everything from that. That's like expected items at level 80.
Because I want to check how much any good axe, like I would say despot axe with just recipe has
Despot,
piece.
you can't even use
I'm
Despot at
copying
level
whatever is
55.
on the spectral third champ tree because I figure that's fairly reasonable.
That's like a very good weapon.
It's
okay. I'll tone it down a
You
bit.
want maybe like 60% IPD, no other mods, basically.
I wanted to check what's the recipe, like how much PDPS do you have on a recipe weapon?
Let me log in. I can tell you what weapon I had last round.
you can copy it and just send it to. Sorry, forgot the name. Moeta.
Moeta.
I will have hard time spelling your name. I'm really sorry.
That's fine.
Then we can try doing something.
Yeah. This weapon is better than what you would expect before 52.
Yes, definitely.
It'll give you an
That's a
idea
really high
of
weapon.
what's good
I would remove the attack speed maybe and just craft it one.
Nah, but just the easiest thing for you to do, honestly, is not even Noble Axe. It's the axe before it, because you're swapping at 52, so you never equip Noble Axe.
Yeah.
So you want probably like a Headsman is the base that I would use. Yeah, and then just put like 60 IPD, and then you're done.
What do you mean by 6? Oh, I see.
Like increase physical damage, make it 60, and then like that's the amount of damage you're expecting to have on this weapon. Yeah, something like this.
Just this. Okay.
Yeah, this is like a rustic recipe weapon. Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna craft something on it, right? Like rustic and then craft.
No.
Yes. You can craft.
No, you usually just like rustic and go.
I will hop on a second. I will be back.
What is it? 6 alterations to craft attack speed?
Yeah, but you need those alterations to craft attack speed and other stuff later on. Like you want a 1.6 APS base low level sword with good links, and then you craft attack speed on that, and that's your like map enter support weapon.
Sword, not X?
Doesn't matter.
You need to use smite.
I mean, you want a bright beak. But yeah.
Wait, this is a champion, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, the second lab is fucking useless. If you're playing support, you're taking the first 2 fortify nodes or the banner one. No?
I think you go for the free banner.
Yeah, but if you go for the free banner, you're gonna need until the last lab in campaign. You're gonna play with one lab that is useless.
Yeah, I mean the first node to fortify doesn't matter. It gives you only attack speed if you have fortify.
Theoretically,
Makes
you
you
could also
immune to
take
stun as well.
adrenaline and respec later.
Yeah.
We can't respec ascendancies.
No, you can't.
We have
No, I mean,
that would be our
okay,
entire
in the
respec budget
second-
right there.
Yes,
in the
yes.
second respec, not in the first one. Like he would respect it somewhere in yellow maps.
Maloik, you're like very quiet.
It wasn't Meloy's, it was Enron, I think.
It was?
Yeah, I was
I apologize. I'm speaking directly in the microphone and nobody can hear me.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, I can't hear you, sorry, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, this shit looks cursed.
And maybe we are overthinking it and you level together with a partner.
I mean, that's the idea. You level with the partner after BA.
I mean, before BA.
I mean, you could do that. I don't think it's optimal.
Yeah, but I don't think the 11 respect points will give you that much power that you can clear solo BA.
You're not supposed to clear BA.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Alright, I'm gonna give you guys a little bit more information. The total respec budget I've assigned for this character is 30 respecs by level 80. The idea is you have a 12-point respec by BA, then a 20-point respec by map enter, and then a final 10-point respec later on.
So just click more damage nodes early then.
This is cursed as fuck.
Nah,
What you
you
just
can't
say
go more damage.
SPL.
Can
Because
everybody
right
hear me now?
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, heaps better.
Much better.
I'm gonna jump
Perfect.
down to answer some questions from other groups, but I'll let you keep thinking about that. You're mostly on the right track. The lines of thinking are correct. This POB has way not enough power for this build to keep up in any levels in any fast run.
Mm-hmm.
You just need to throw more power at it. Welling, not what's the name of this skill? Spectral throw is fine. It's an option. You can think of another build, or like another skill that performs better for the job that you're trying to
Spectral
make this build
helix.
do. Anyway, have a
I'm
think
not
about those
sure.
Same gem.
things. Discuss between you. I'll be back later. Yo.
Oh,
Hey,
Yo.
so Judge Siwi concocted something, and we are not sure. I mean, I am not sure.
Come on, you clearly were part of it. I never played Brand in any way, so like you really help. Let's not. But yeah, like that. Let's stream. Let's show. We want to like show our work, right?
Yeah. So.
Yep.
The idea is I'm gonna hope to get one person from each group to sort of like present the overarching ideas to everyone.
Oh. Okay.
But if you want any like feedback, just to make sure you're on the right track or have any questions or whatever.
Yeah, basically, because we don't want to like show that what we made and it look like fools. I guess that's a good idea. Like, don't need to say much, but basically, so we were given this build, which is Penance Brand Dissipation.
Yeah, Penance Brand.
At first I was like, how do you fucking go like all the way and loop here, and then this is like
it's like 4
this
points
to complete the circle. It's kind of fun, and like, what the hell is that tree? It was funny at first glance because I never seen anything like that.
Yeah.
But and well, I mean, this is literally Brand. I mean, honestly, I'm like, okay, this gotta be armor. Like, I don't see that not be armor brand. And which made sense, right? So we picked up the armor brand from I think that's the armor brand from the leveling thing. It was like, okay, that's close. We're quite close. And then we compared it, of course, and we're like, okay, this is obviously like to work on. First thing that noticed, like honestly, I was like, this whole loop around is cute, but I don't think that's gonna like. There's a lot of travel and get some key things, and as Chiki told me, there's gonna be like, oh yeah, there's battery at some point, and like okay, I get it, but I think like this whole loop around will probably not be necessary for the core things. So we each started to third one, and we started to work around a bit, and we came up with this. This is what we think is gonna be what we're actually going to level with. We forgo like a couple of like firewalkers and stuff like that, but like this seems good. There's when we switch, I mean, there's like gonna be like when we switch, basically, it's gonna be looking like something like that.
Okay. Yeah.
Whatever. So when we respec, right? So like we just go from there, and once we respec, I mean, we're 1 point away, but it's I think it's pretty early. I think that's this required level 55, which is like for basically for maps.
Yeah.
And we go and we get there, basically probably not taking iron will just for to get the constitution which will help, but basically this is gonna be like what we think. We decided to keep some minion stuff because switching all that gear and having all this minion damage on your gear will still help at this point. And obviously like this is what we got.
Yeah, so the main question I personally had was when do we switch to crit? And probably it comes down to, well, first of all, do we have the gem? Because I suspect that regular Penance Brand is very weak compared to Dissipation. And second, do we have enough crit to spec out of EO? And probably a Spiritual Aid as well.
Yeah.
So I think it's fine to stay non-crit until level 70 or maybe 80, and then just take the crit nodes at that point. But numbers to be checked. I think I underestimate the crit chance on Inquisitor, especially once we take the power charges. But
like,
yeah.
yeah, we don't have crit right now, that's for sure, and we have not taken the third and fourth lab, which is like a lot of crit, I guess, for.
Well,
Yeah,
crit is
so
the third lab. Yeah.
Righteous Providence is a lot of crit chance.
Uh-huh.
You can expect probably at least on reasonable starter gear sets, I would say, yeah, probably at least like 150 to 200 ink crits from that node alone, which is a
Damn.
lot of crits. I think probably you want to plan for a crit respec around level 80 or so. And like honestly the starter tree for penance that I had, it was just like a random tree I found on Ninja from day one. It's not like an optimized endgame penance tree, right? Um
Yeah, one
so
thing that I was curious is should we path from top right, like
Yeah,
go shadow first, and don't care about righteous fire?
yeah. So
yeah.
I thought about it, but like each nodes, it feels like, okay, that's life nodes, and we go through here, which is like, oh yeah, some damage and life, but nothing that seems like build significant and important, right? So because of this, like we can still brew in the same direction and use
Yeah.
something similar that would do the same kind of similar job as like more life and more damage, while still not like going through that, because the only thing that seems like, oh yeah, this was overcharge, which I like is super good, but like
Yeah.
going up to that position was clearly, I don't think, worth it, not worth it. So that's why we kind of forego all the loop around thing, and that's what we came up with basically.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, so I'd say it depends on the context, right? So the big loop around is mostly for hardcore builds where you need the life and suppression,
Hmm.
or for like uber bossing builds. You can probably get
Oh yeah,
away with just pathing
it's fine.
straight to shadow if you just want to like degenerate softcore four portal things. Um,
Oh, yeah, and for suppression, like we kind of like said, well, at this point we're not really suppression capped, so like
right.
getting like that kind of like mage bane and like to that, which is gonna be nice.
It's
Actually,
less
you
important
want
right
that,
now,
but
yeah.
during camping and going through that thing, it's not like we're not thinking about suppression yet.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I would say like it kind of depends, right? So you could pass straight to shadow. I think it's really a fine option. I think it would give you better crit build earlier, because you get what's that node? Is it literally just assassinate? No, the
Which
assassin
one?
crit node, like two to the right of where you are.
Yeah, assassination.
Yeah, yeah, assassination.
I have no idea what we're
Just
looking
to the
at.
right, like up, down. It's shadow start
Uh,
nodes, like
okay.
Just control F it, man.
yeah, like up. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Ah, there it is. Okay, okay.
Yeah. So those are really good, and so is
Uh-huh.
the node 2 points to the left.
Trickery?
Yeah.
Good chance. Okay, I see
So
why. Okay. So we gonna forgo crit at this point. That makes sense, right? Because yeah, we forgot crit.
yeah, it's an option, right? So like,
Hmm.
yeah, context matters. It's kind of impossible for me to give you a perfect answer, but the
Hmm.
thing that matters is you've got like your maximum power tree early, then you've got where you kind of want to end up by around map enter like 60-ish, and then from there
Hmm.
you can just click good notes, right?
Like I mean, for this point, like, well, once we do the respect target, we get here.
Yeah,
I mean, we did get constitution, and I think we're like looping around. We'll get some good stuff, and I
yeah, you get
think
okay
once we
notes there.
reach, yeah, like yeah, I mean, it is worth it. Like we get like mage bane, we grab iron will, they get power charge on kill, which is gonna be huge, I think.
Yeah,
Uh, and I don't know what to build how the build works exactly, so it's kind of hard to say like, oh yeah, like this and that makes sense, right? But I mean, once we like there's no crit here, we can either like from that point we could either like go here for a moment and get some crit and then respect crit right away as we did the third life
yeah.
and we grab these things.
So you actually have 3 crit nodes already, no?
uh
Like the witch ones? I forget the name. Like a witch start.
oh
There
yeah,
you go.
these, right, we could have not took that, that's right, we could have not took those
Yeah, so that's the only
two,
thing I think is like out of place on this current build is
right.
So if you're gonna go crit, you want to invest in the top left crit nodes as well.
These, let's
Let me find the nodes.
Go ahead.
It's called Arcane Potency. Like just one point to
Okay.
the right of where you are. Yeah, this one.
I see.
Yeah, so I think if you want to be crits, you could even be
Mhm.
crit by third lab. It's probably okay. Like you take Arcane Potency, you take Annihilation, and you have Righteous Providence, and maybe you have like a spell crit on weapon or something. I think this is maybe enough crits for it to be worth it. But probably you have to
Oh.
consider the context of the build that you're playing.
By the way, this was not covered. You can do level 7 quest for Diamond Flask, I think.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, Diamond Flask is mandatory for crit builds. It's not really something I think about in terms of planning respecs, but yeah, I'll mention it when we get back together. It's a good point.
Well, that's it for us, I think.
yeah.
My question's answered. Yeah.
Well, in the default and what they actually use. Oh yeah, they do take Arcane Potency. Okay, I see.
Yeah, but you can just path in the middle, right? It's fine.
Yeah, obviously we forgot that part because we were like, oh, this is cheaper point when it started to cut things. So we just like, well, but that makes sense to eventually like have like the normal thing and then we go crit. Then like we lose these, I mean, we lose this thing because, oh, I shouldn't do that. Okay, but
yeah, let's just edit the
we go
respec
here, we
target.
grab the trick,
Yeah, so
and then
grab
like
the crit nodes and maybe just drop Constitution for now.
yeah, like instead of going there, we just
Yeah.
boom.
Because this is a lot of power. I mean, this assumes that you want to be Penance Brand early, right? Because I wouldn't even bother making that swap. It doesn't add you anything, no?
The very last change is same thing.
Yeah.
Until you have clusters.
Yeah, so keep the crit nodes that you just took off. My question here is, do you want to be Penance Brand at Map Enter? And I would assume the answer is no. So you probably don't want the cast speed or the lightning and cast speed. So the two lightning and cast speed wheels here, yeah.
We don't at Map Enter. So that
Well,
the
it
point
depends what your map enter build is. So like, are you map entering on Armageddon Brand, or are you map entering on another build?
Well, I don't know, man. I don't know these builds.
Yeah.
You can play crit armor. That's fine.
I would consider, yeah, just being crit armor brand for a little while. You could even take like the brand crit node, which is there, which probably should have been on the original tree. Sorry, this wasn't the best quality tree that I had, but it's interesting. It demonstrates a point, right?
Yeah, well, man, I kind of lost track of what I was doing here. Okay, this is a respec. Oops, this is respec. No, this is what we're leveling as.
Yeah.
Right now, this is armor, and what?
So that's 70 points.
Once we respec, we go crit instead.
Yeah, you don't need this int node. This int node is not doing anything.
Yeah, it's not doing anything. But I was trying to figure out it was worth it to switch here, but it wasn't.
Yeah. You can keep practical application. That's good for 2 points.
Okay.
Practical application in
practical. Okay.
Yeah, so you have these points on your leveling tree, so you can keep them. I think they're good.
And that would be like 12, which is very low.
That's a good start.
Yeah, and like we do take crit to this. Yeah. But we're not switching yet. That's before. I mean, we could have two-parter. We could have like normal armor, leveling armor crit, and then penance.
Yeah, but I think what you've done here is a good start. Like I could spend like 3 hours talking about just this pod, for example, right?
Right.
But the you've gotten out of the process what I wanted you to practice, which was having like a target endgame pob. Like, it doesn't really matter how perfect that pob is, and then thinking about how you would get there, and you've made like a few steps and working within a respec budget and figuring out stuff.
I understand I understand the concept, and I like the concept of it. The weakness I would say I have is clearly am I I don't understand the builds. I never made a build, and it's kind of hard for me to understand like builds that I haven't played with.
Yeah.
Still so much to learn.
Yeah, just play each ascendancy at least once. That's what I did to learn the game, and then continue.
I mean, it helps, but there's a lot. That's a lot. I'm like this thing. Like even if I play it once, it's you don't get a grasp of it entirely because at the first time you usually follow a build and like, okay, and I'm gonna put these points, and it's like, okay, what the fuck am I? Where? How does that do
5,000 hours
damage?
later.
Why?
I
Like
still don't
exactly.
understand.
Yeah, it's like what does the damage here?
Cool.
And that's a lot. Obviously, but something that you eventually get used to. Like, oh yeah, this is what did the damage. You're like, oh, I understand now. That's why I wouldn't do damage. That's something that I learned about lightning arrow yesterday. And something like that. It's like I feel like such a noob like all the fucking time. It's
Okay. I need to
and
get
it's
back to it.
crazy. Yeah. Sorry,
Cool. Yeah, I'll
of
see you
course.
guys around. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. How are you guys going? All done? Sounds like all done.
We basically disbanded the group, but yeah, we finished very early.
Yo.
Yo.
All right. Cool. So I think. Why is my Discord not cooperating?
No idea.
There we go. It is now cooperating. All right. Cool. Let's just do another ping to get everyone back in here. I think we've spent more than enough time on this.
I believe this is correct.
And we're marginally more hit DPS, but it is not pretty.
Come back here.
Oh look, it's a bone shatter tree. Why is that question? There's two nodes not clicked for bone shatter.
It's not a bone shatter tree though.
Oh, it says
This
main
is-
skill bone shatter on the left. No, or am I dumb?
Yeah.
This is a support swap tree that we were testing different main skill or leveling skills.
Okay.
Can you just change the stream resolution to like not 1440?
Yeah.
Because it's really tarry and Disc doesn't like it.
I want to know what SPL gem did you choose to get? What do you level up with?
What did I level up with? Frostblades.
No.
Yeah, that skill's crazy.
No.
What skill? Excuse me.
Frostblades.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You're the only one Frostblade enjoyers there.
But don't you need the extra projectiles for this?
Nope.
Interesting.
I mean, in theory it is possible that you have some proj nodes around, so that makes sense, but I don't know. Spectral Throwers, it seems better even.
Alright. So I think we split
mean,
off into
Frost-
4 or 5-ish groups, yeah? I'm not sure how many groups actually finished or have a semi-presentable thing, but do we have like a couple of people who want to talk through their ideas? We'll do the support one last.
Do we break the ice, Dicky?
Yeah, go ahead. But you have the pub on your screen, Judge Siwi.
Yeah. Can I share here? I think I can.
You should be able to.
All right.
Wait, so if you close yours, so it's not confusing to which one people are supposed to watch.
Cool.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Oh, there's some people still down. Oh, this is practice. Never mind.
They're doing a run.
Just,
It's fine.
yeah. We're fine. We're fine. So this is the build we were given. It is Penance Brand of Dissipation. Never played that. I never played any brand thing. This is something I plan to do this week, by the way. To learn about. But yeah. Tiki and I got to work on that. Well, since they were brand, in fact, my comment earlier, it's nothing that Armor brand cannot fix because we're branding anyway. So we picked up this build for Armor brand, which is quite similar already. So we were lucky on that aspect. So we made another tree, which is pretty much like things we're gonna go with. So from that point, we decided to forego a couple of things that for Arma to actually get a thing here. So this is what we came up with in the end, basically. This is the leveling as Arma, kind of like what we're getting to, what we were trying to reach. After we actually spoke with I don't know, is SPL what we call it? I don't know
Yeah.
how to call it.
Yeah.
SPL. We figured out that by our goal is like, oh yeah, from that point we can kind of switch. We found out that Penance Brand is not the best thing to actually switch to once we get into maps. And oh yeah, and to map, so we just like, okay, well, in that case we could just go some Arma crit thing for still a while before switching. The reasoning is that let me explain the reasoning a bit. So the when we saw the tree, we figured out, well, there's a lot of nodes and some crit here, which was not actually like sure, it makes a build good in the end, but not something you would travel so much to get to, right? So that's why like the whole kind of loop around here was something we forgo. Same with some no life here. So that's, we pretty much kept the big core here and worked with to that. It's kind of weird to repeat myself a couple of times. Anything I'm missing, Tiki? You want to add, perhaps?
So something I would personally do before doing this in a run is take a character in standard, spec the tree at 70 points, and try to run Blood Aqueduct with the new skill, Penance Brand, because I'm not familiar with it enough, and see if I actually do damage or if I die, and then adjust the target respec tree.
Yeah. And yeah, something else we spoke about was having a few stages, right? So like you can take some crit nodes after this, and then swap to crit after third lab once you have the that ascendancy, because it gives a lot of ink crit chance. And then something that we didn't speak about during the lecture, but it's obviously something to keep in mind, is if you're swapping to crit, you do need a minimum threshold of crit chance nodes and multi. And a big way to get that is Diamond Flask through the Act. I think you can get an Act 5, but also the Act 7 Flask rewards.
Indeed, we were not done with it because when you left, we were like, okay, let's work on an Arma crit kind of tree, right? But we started like adding some crit nodes here and like take the ascendancies and stuff like that. But we were not done yet, and we were thinking about just go from probably like grab these, get some crit, and then from there after a bit later, then respec and end up with like whatever what they got there at this point, right? So that's pretty much what we had in mind, but we were not like ready for that yet.
Cool.
Yeah, one last thing. In some events, you can switch ascendancy class. In some, you cannot. So on this build, it's perfectly fine to level as Inquisitor instead of Hierro, which is the classical Templar racing build. So make sure that you know if you can change ascendancy or not and plan for it. You can only change ascendancy inside the lab. So you have to run it to respec, and respec is 10 points per to ascendancy node.
Yep. Okay. Do we have anyone from any of the other groups who wasn't doing the support thing? Or any questions for the guys? Yeah. No questions for the guys? Okay, yeah. Anyone from any of the other groups have something to show off?
Yeah, I can present the DD elementalist.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, sharing my screen.
Nice.
So that was definitely not the hardest task. We got this this level 80 build here for DD elementalist. Really classic build, and I think the leveling is pretty much solved. You go armor cremation, really easy. So we start early, traveling through the spell damage to Firewalker, then maybe go practical application, elemental overload, spec some life here and there, and then the dark arts for the damage, and 2 different weapons with high attack speed for leap slam. Some more damage here. Mid-level build is basically going Holy Dominion and all the good nodes over here. Then going through Devotion to get more damage with Divine Judgment. We opted to not go for Spiritual Aid because the DD Elementalist tree already has more than enough damage nodes that also apply to Armageddon brand. So we can just go to the nodes we will get in the end. And that would be the final tree before the respec. And the respec is just 16 points to get to the final tree. Yeah, that's basically what we came up with. And yeah, before you get armor brand, it's probably just a rolling magma.
Yeah. Yeah, so the only thing I'd really question, I mean, besides being nitpicky about saying, you know, you should go the top side of Dark Arts, not the bottom side, is I really think Spiritual Command is like crazy nodes, and no, Spiritual Command, the minion attack speed nodes in the middle, just under Dark Arts.
This one.
Yeah, I think you really need these points to have enough attack speed at minimum for Leap Slam to feel worth it.
Oh.
And I would even click those before clicking the fire nodes, because as you say, you have a lot of damage on the tree, right? Like from Witch Start, you have all the spell damage and Firewalker and then EO. So yeah, I would say clicking Spiritual Command here I think is mandatory. And then because you have these, then maybe you want to have Spiritual Aid as well, because they serve double purpose, because you can take the minion attack speed as well as getting the minion damage from Spiritual Aid. But I could see a world in which you don't take Spiritual Aid, but I just think having the mobility is a lot more important. But even if you wanted to go from here and just travel through like the other routing you had from before, I think it would be fine.
Yeah, sure. It's really easy to pull off, I think, and yeah, Spiritual Command looks good.
Yeah.
And 2 more nitpicky things. I think if you do decide to click the fire wheel, you also click the mastery. And I think it should be an active decision whether or not you go for the cast speed or for the area.
Yeah, they're both good. It's just
like either or is fine. It's just needs to be a decision. That's all I'm saying.
And the mastery would be the region, or what would you expect?
The critical strikes don't inherently ignite, but
Oh, yeah.
it's 100% increased damage against ignited enemies.
With hits.
And because you're elementalist, you're igniting everything, and it's just strictly double damage.
I mean, you also get a lot of ignite chance on tree.
Yeah.
And you're using combustion on armor brand, so
yeah,
you don't need to even take the all damage ignites node first. I would suggest taking the minus res node first.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You can do that as well.
Okay, yeah. So this one was not super complicated, but just has something to do with true. Do we have any other groups, or anyone have any questions about this one? Not everything is just armor brands.
I mean, stop giving us build that goes well with our.
Yeah.
Yeah, do I send him the tree that I sent to you just now?
No.
Okay.
All right, let's hear the
no, I
support,
don't.
guys. See if you have any good ideas.
You cut out SPL.
Let's hear from the support team. See if you guys have any good ideas for the build.
Okay. We didn't finish and we didn't come up with something amazing. But this
You were
was
not
the
expected to.
original tree.
Okay.
Along with these skills. So all of the aura nodes, and a bunch of like defense nodes around here. So we started with a tree with no damage nodes, and that pathed the entire distance of the tree.
Okay.
So early on, we decided we can just take out this entire top half. That is way too many points for not enough clusters of damage nodes.
Yeah.
We can take out leadership and charisma, but still get close enough to them that we can take them early. We'll start out with taking this destroyer. We're leveling with axes. The actual skill that we're leveling with was pretty up in the air. We started with spectral throw, copying the duelist build. We started to look into bone shatter. We never did decide on what would actually be best. So we would start with this, and then we'd either path straight down or go around this. Pathing these travel nodes are the nodes that we have to take in the end. So if we can follow this path, we'll have to respec less nodes later on. We'll prioritize getting Hatchet Master, some of these life nodes that we'll still take later. We went back and forth on whether we could actually take Precise Technique. It is a fair amount of damage, but this whole side is 11 respecs, which is fairly into our budget. So the goal with this is 12 respecs when you get to level 52 at Blood Aqueducts, and 30 respecs by level 80, I think. So then at Blood Aqueducts, we'd respec from this tree to this tree, taking these two aura nodes and the mana mastery to make up for what we're not getting from influence. Take out most of the damage nodes that we've got. We're taking this to keep this pathing easier rather than going down here. This will be a later respec.
Okay.
And this fits everything with enough mana to comfortably leap slam and cast smite.
And how many respecs is this at map enter? Like level 60?
This is
under 20, right? It looks under 20.
Yeah, it's under 20. It's
I believe it's something like 16.
20. It's 22 if we take this side. It's 10 if we don't.
Yeah, it all comes if we go to right side. I mean, if you want to get to 20, then we remove the right side of the accuracy, go with left one.
Yeah, this
Because
accuracy isn't actually necessary. We can just take precision.
I mean, if we still have some respects, we can have the legs left side, and it should be in our budget.
The damage still looks bad coming up to Blood Aqueducts. It still looks bad throughout the entire campaign. We never fixed that. We did not finish with this.
You can't fix the damage.
But you have to be able to kill white packs.
Yeah, I mean, you can just get as much damage as you can, but like it's never gonna feel great.
Yeah.
That would
Okay.
depart. I mean, if you would like to, then you might use the pride, but I think at around this level, you already want to swap to Aura bot.
Agreed. Yeah, I think it's just like a double Herald War Banner.
Yep.
+1, basically.
Herald of Purity, Heralds of Ash. We played with the idea of fitting in Anger, but
nah, you can't.
That didn't work.
Yeah. So, what if you do not go precise technique? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then let's talk a little bit about breakpoints, maybe. So you're pathing out of duelist, and you're clicking all of the attack speed, and then you get to the nodes, and you decide to click the destroyer. There's another 2 nodes that give like I think projectile damage, like quite considerable.
Those nodes suck.
For Spectral Throw, they suck.
Yeah. I mean, we didn't take them on Spectral Helix. I'm not sure exactly for Spectral Throw, but yeah, I think those nodes are super mid.
Fury Bolt, you mean?
Yeah.
I thought early on you took him for the strength plus a little bit of damage for Sebrutus.
Nah, you get strength by going left side.
Okay.
Okay,
Cool.
so I'll first
Yep.
say you guys had a really hard task, and your answer is not bad. Yeah. This plan would work. I don't think it's optimal. I'm not even sure if my plan is optimal. But the important thing is that you've considered all of the factors and you've made informed decisions while thinking through all of the options and the implications, right, at the various stages. So you've done what I wanted you to do within this exercise, yeah? Would you like to keep discussing like the intricacies of your solution, or would you like me to show my solution so you can see like some of the different ideas?
Maybe go with yours.
Yes.
I'm good with that.
All right. So
Could I share mine before? Because I did it while we were discussing. I did my own thing.
sure, yeah, go ahead.
That being said, I'm like not a pop guy, so that's why it's interesting for me to do it. Just need Discord over here. Is it showing?
Yes, it is.
Nice. Right.
Yes.
So yeah, it's
cool.
definitely the same pop. I had an advantage of like knowing half this pop, but it was like back when Spectral Heroes were good, so I kind of did the same thing and just had the same like I needed to figure out the different skills.
Yeah.
So I have so this one. So in the beginning, I'm gonna go through both sides of the tree, and then path through the destroyer and go back to the hatchet down to the hatchet master.
Yeah.
While we take mana flows first, by the way. The bravery we can take later when we need life. And then the same with Cloth of Chain is like when you need resist, you could take it. And then you take Executioner with the Wrecking.
Yeah, this side is
Oh,
better.
I took
Yeah,
Executioner. Oh, you take Wrecking Ball instead? Okay.
Yeah, you just clicked the wrong side. It's okay, continue.
Yeah. And we take the 40% increased damage to res against the res on uniques.
Yeah.
We go up, we pick up the Bloodless with the 50 life, and then we spec towards like the conclusion and go up to against Charisma. And then the swap will look like this, where we drop the Destroyer and we drop the Wrecking Ball. with 2 headed, and then we keep the Hatchet's Mastery because we don't have these points, and we pick up Ruthless, and that's it. And then we have the Mono Prep, and this is 11 respecs.
Yeah.
Refunds, and then I didn't get to level map 3 yet, but yeah.
Yeah, so that's a decent solution as well. Some more accuracy in terms of the early tree stuff is good. I think pathing down through Destroyer adds too many regrets, unfortunately. Like, that is how I would like to path. And there is an option to path like that, but as you say, it requires you to take Inspirational as your first lab point. Which we determined was not as good as just clicking whatever this note's called, first track last of all. But yeah, good ideas. Definitely the early nodes are correct. Yeah, I'm just looking back to my solution. It's pretty same. But yeah, let's have a look at this. What do I need to do? I need to move POV over here. I need to move Discord over here. And I need to share my screen. Cool. Look at me go. Alright. So this is a solution that we ended up at. It's not amazing, but the idea is you want to start by clicking, well, the first 2 levels are always the point on the left and the point on the right. Like, these 2 points are just extremely efficient. Then click all the way down to Master of the Arena. Then click all the way down to Art of the Gladiator. And specifically, you need Master of the Arena. This is 20 strength. This is going to allow you to equip 2-handed weapons. And there might be like another thing that you need specifically that's strength for. And then this gives you the dex. So you go like here and here, right? And then Destroyer. After this, we walked out into Martial Experience. So basically there's 2 options. You can walk down like Doan's Bobbad, but we didn't like these 4 extra respecs, because that means your BA tree is going to look like you have to keep Destroyer basically, and we didn't like keeping Destroyer at BA. So the idea was to path up to Martial Experience. We still kept this 40% damage against res and uniques, because sometimes like you're in a position to fight res in like just in farming zones. And then just like going down and then rushing for Hatchet Master, Wrecking Ball, Cloth and Chain, and Golem's Blood are just value nodes. I like this bottom side pathing for Bloodless because, like, whilst these 6% life nodes are good, you're not really taking them on the level 80 tree, I think, right? Yeah. But yeah, so like pretty same solution as everyone. Just the only difference is that we've taken first to strike, last to fall. Just because this node's like completely crazy, basically. I'm not sure how it compares to your like 11-point precise technique idea. This is actually something I hadn't considered, so that's kind of cool. So yeah, what does the respec look like at BA, right? So it's like, this is 4 points, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So yeah, you get out of these 11, and you just have to be like, okay, well, I've still got these points. And then you get out of these, and these, basically.
I have a note on that.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so this is 19 points. And this is where you're at for maps.
I have a note on that SPL I think I thought about. It like keep the Hatchet Mastery but get out of Wrecking Ball. Because when you switch to BA, when you don't need to get out of Hatchet Mastery, the attack speed,
like
if you keep your axe, yes, and you have the attack speed for Leap Slam there.
Yeah, you're right. Anyway, you get the point, right? It's like get rid of the worst nodes for BA, and then yeah. So if we just go with Dern's idea here, yeah. So for sure we're dropping the two-handed stuff. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is like 12, yeah. And you keep this like this is just 14 life. Like it's not horrible. Then you can keep Hatchet Master, and then by the end of campaign, you've dropped these. You keep this wonky pathing because it is what it is, and like you just keep that all the way basically. Then this is 50 life and remains 50 life, right? Why is it telling me 11 respecs? Does anyone know?
One of it is the
Oh,
ascendancy, I
this.
think.
Yeah, it's this 14 life node. I mean, this 14 life node you can keep forever. It's like fine. But yeah, then we were just kind of accepting that you just take fortitude and then you don't have defiance banner until inspirational. So then you just drop this as like your next 10 regrets, and it's like kind of okay. But yeah, in terms of in terms of the tree that you want to get to, so I said it was total 30 refunds, right?
This is correct.
Yeah, total 30 refunds. So you're refunding 20 points on tree, and then the ascendancy is 10 points later. So if I were to take off the priority nodes, or the nodes that like are kind of mid, yeah, this duration node's important once you get Eldritch Battery. AoE's good. +1 all res doesn't matter until you get the other all res. Suppression good but not mandatory immediately. And like yeah, this is like pretty close to a map enter tree basically. What's this like 21? So you're -3, so this is 63 tree, and then yeah, you can just like drop some life off. This would be like a 59 map ender tree. You're entering maps on EB. You've got all of the relevant aura stuff. You can fit you can fit basically the auras, yeah. Yeah, so that was my thinking behind this. Again, like you guys' thinking is pretty valid.
Can you show skills?
Oh, skills. No, I don't have a skills.
Okay, because you said frosting blades, and like I'm thinking which one would be better, because if we go precise technique and like this, we have like big hit, which can compromise some of the adrenaline missing, because it's either this or this. If you're going frostblades, then definitely going ascendancy and like removing it later is better. But if we're going for like big hits, which I feel like might be better a little bit, because you don't want to spend too much on single pack. I'm not sure what was the damage, but I believe on our bot it's really, really, really low.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'll say like there isn't even an agreement within the team of the people who play champ or bot on what leveling skill they like. Like Crazed likes Spectral Throw, and I'm blanking on his name. One sec. I'm going to remember.
I have no clue.
Yeah. I just need to see the picture. Or do I?
Am I just gonna list all?
Yeah. Enzyme likes Frostblades.
Yeah.
And they both like struggle to hit 52 when we enter BA. It's like it's really hard to play a build with this level of power.
If they're like around 48, they're doing really, really good job.
Yeah, pretty much. And often what we'll do, and I'll talk about this in the support carry lecture, but basically, or workshop rather, basically like you're stopping taking points to do anything around level 40. Like you have to play 10 levels
That is correct.
on a super scuffed tree, which didn't have a lot of power already, and then you just start clicking like Sentinel, like
Yeah. I mean, if you go with the right side, with the precise technique, technically you are not taking all of the stupid nodes, but at the same there are a lot of traveling nodes for the precision, so still,
Yeah.
precise technique, sorry. So it's still not optimal, but then you are missing adrenaline, and I believe you used corrupting fever to get this adrenaline.
Yeah.
Because if you are not, then it's definitely not worth it.
Yeah, I mean,
But if
obviously,
you do, then yeah. If you proc it consistently and you know how to farm using it, I believe Frostbaits would be better. But I never played Frostbaits, I think.
Yeah.
But if you're doing like the used to big hits, I don't know, Bone Shooter or anything, I would probably go for this what we made.
Yeah.
The Spectral Show.
No,
I
they're
guess.
both good. I think it's really fun. Okay, so we have two options basically. Option one, I'll just bring us back to our any questions screen. Does anyone have any questions or other stuff they want to talk about with regards to respecking? Option two is we can do like another, like demonstration idea of how to make a respec plan for a build with, I think the interesting one is like Garotha style Ellie hit poison bow builds. So I'm happy to do that, or I'm happy to just end it here with any questions. I think if you guys just want to vote, maybe just do like a 1 for ending here or a 2 for do another demonstration, and maybe we can just have it a bit more like open discussion like. I'll give you guys 30 seconds to chuck 1s and 2s in the chat, and then I'll be back then.
So which one is 1? Which one is 2? Sorry.
1 is for ending and 2 goes for continue with another pop.
The Gorata version of Poison Arrow, can't you just level with Poison Concoction?
I'm thinking like I have build for BPL that I'm keeping for myself. I'd like to play if I get by Thunder, and I have no clue how to level up this. Not yet. You said Gorata. What was the Gorata build?
Yeah, so I think what we'll do is we'll open the forum to any questions. I'll end the stream. That'll be, well, not stream the recording. That'll be like the formal end of the workshop. And then I'll do like an informal other thing that I said I was going to do. Any questions or anything else you want to talk about for this topic? Now's the time. All right, cool. I am ending the recording now.